And thank you so much for joining us. I'm Ann Trujillo.
And I'm Shannon Ogden. The oil and gas industry tried to discredit those blood tests after our initial report, while the town of Erie was left wondering if their kids were safe.
Well, tonight, the state's top toxicologist weighs in for the first time. Denver 7's Jennifer Kovaleski reports.
Oh, so strong.
Almost no one can argue that it's good for a 6-year-old to have high levels of cancer-causing chemicals in his blood. Benzene is a natural occurring part of crude oil and gasoline. And it's something we're all exposed to at gas stations or from smoking. Our bodies can process small doses of it, but not for a kid, and not this high.
How does a 6-year-old get to be in the 85th percentile for this? How?
More than 2 months after Dr. Beth Waskowitz went to state regulators with the findings of her son's blood test. Still, what no one can figure out, however, is where the benzene came from.
These are high levels. If it's not from the fracking, then where?
Shortly after our first report back in May, the health department says it collected air samples at Beth's home. And now for the first time, the state's chief toxicologist is weighing in on what they found.
We didn't find any violations or any leaks that we would suspect would cause that sort of problem.
So how do you explain a test like that?
So I think that's a huge challenge, and I think these blood tests are a huge challenge.
Mike Van Dyke is also pushing back on these volatile organic compound, or VOC blood tests, warning they aren't good science and asking parents to stop running them.
These blood tests are hard to do. And second, the results of the blood tests really don't point to a particular source of exposure.
Van Dyke also points to contamination issues with these tests and says the CDC is the only proven lab in the country to run these tests.
If they really want to know what their exposure is from oil and gas, consider conducting air sampling outside their home and inside their home.
If the blood tests aren't a good option, Beth is urging the state to come up with a better solution.
I feel it is a responsibility both of the oil operators as well as the state to help locate an appropriate test. I think it is a question of where their priorities lie.
Is the industry influencing your decisions?
The science is what drives the decisions at CDPHE. And the industry does not influence our decisions at CDPHE.
Now, this story has certainly gotten a lot of you fired up. Beth also told me today that she paid for air sampling to rule out any benzene in her home, and they didn't find anything inside, which further leads her to believe that it's related to oil and gas in her backyard, Shannon.
Jennifer Kovaleski tonight. Thank you for that report, Jen.